Hey gang, your Guitar Sage. Today we're going to learn how to play Banana Pancakes by Jack Johnson. I'm going to show you the chords, the licks, maybe some basic strumming, that sort of thing. We may even talk about some theory as to what key the song is in and that sort of thing. As always, if you haven't already, go to YourGuitarSage.com, pick up the ebook, and this way you can peruse the charts that I have and it will help you with all these videos. So, YourGuitarSage.com, check it out. For those of you that have the ebook already, check out the chart for Banana Pancakes, and away we go. Otherwise, for those of you that don't, get a pencil ready and a pen and start jotting some notes down, alright? So I'll play the basic part of it and then we'll talk about it broken down, okay? So it's going to go something like this. I improvised that little bit of a lick there in the beginning, but that's the intro. Now I'm looking at my chart here on my screen. I teach so many tunes that I can't commit them all to memory, and typically we'll teach a student, give them the chart, and they're on their way, and then of course I bring that to YouTube where you can study it as well. But I'm looking at my chart here on my screen. That was the intro, okay? We'll talk about the individual bits and pieces here, and then we'll go into the verses and the verses, the turnaround, the bridge, and that sort of thing. Really, technically, I'm looking at this chart, and there's really three, maybe four basic sections to this tune. Okay, let's talk about the part that I just did, which is considered the intro and also the turnaround. If you've heard in some of my other videos, you've heard me talk about a turnaround being a part of the song it's typically the intro of the song repeated somewhere, usually after the second, or usually after the first chorus, and in between the first chorus and the second verse. Okay, so this part will be the intros, or the intro and the turnarounds. Okay, so it's going to go something like this. Take your third finger, put it on the 5th fret of the low E string. You're going to slide up to the 7th fret. First finger on the 5th fret of the 8th string, and then back down. 7, 5, 3, 0. So it's going to go. And that's the lick every time except one time he goes 7, 5, 7, 5. So every time it's but one time he goes up. I think it's the third time he plays it in the song, in the intro. Okay, so now that we got those licks out of the way, let's talk about the chord sum. A chord, the first chord, Jack Johnson loves bar chords. Now, you could play this a number of different ways. You could play it like, let's see. Okay, that's probably the easier way to play it, and we'll talk about that. The chords there would be a G, or let me go back, sorry. Let's go back to the intro. I'm getting ahead of myself there. Intro is going to be, that's an A minor 7. Okay, that's basically laying your finger down all the strings here and taking your ring finger and put it on the 7th fret of the A string. You could play it like this, which is an open A minor 7 chord. And then the second chord is a G7, which is your basic E7 form, just slid up to the bar chord. Or you could play that's an open G7, so you could go. And now that G7 doesn't sound quite as nice, that's why we're talking the bar chord. But technically it is the same chord. Okay, so, intro again, it's going to go A minor 7, G7, and you repeat it with a different lick, A minor 7, sorry, G7, and then that's a D7, it's going to look like this. You can play right here, okay, and that brings us to our verse. Our verse is going to go G, D, A minor, C7. Or you can play an A minor 7 for the A minor. But it's going to go G, D, A minor, C7. G, D, A minor, C7. Now the way Jack does it, I believe, is bar chords, and he goes like a does a G bar chord. Let's see, G bar chord. He does that kind of a D or D7, which is what the chord we did before. An A minor 7 or an A minor. They're both going to sound very close to each other. And then a C7. You can play that one, or you can play this bar chord. So the verse is going to go something like this. Okay, so there's the verse. Let's talk about the chorus. It's kind of the same part again. So basically the chorus is the turnaround. On this chart I don't say that there's a chorus at all, I call it a turnaround. Okay, alright, so we're halfway into the tune here, and sorry I'm looking at my time. Halfway into the tune here, we're gonna come up on a bridge, and what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna be doing that turnaround chorus type thing twice. Whole section that I just did there twice. Then it kind of starts breaking into a bridge section, and the bridge section is going to be these chords here. A minor 7, a D, or you can play an open D. And then a D again. Then B minor. For that, just like the beginning of the song. So let me take it from the B minor part. 2 measures of B minor, 1, 2, 3, B minor, C, G, D, G. The last measure is going to go 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a split measure, right? 2 beats of G, 2 beats of D7, okay? Then, let me look here on the chart. We got a verse going out, and then the end is the same as the intro with the, okay? Now, we've got to wrap it up here, but the strumming rhythm that I'm doing here and that Jack is doing is something like this. It goes, so it's like 1, 2, right? So 1, 2, and there's an upbeat after the 2, and you're going to mute them all. Golly, so much to teach, so little time. We got to go, kids. Go to YourGuitarSage, get the ebook, keep tuning in, keep learning tunes. Go help a little old lady across the street and eat your greens, and help a stray cat. See ya.